State Treasurer Tim Pallas, good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
Will the public have power of veto over the road?
Well, the public will get the information that it is important to put into the public domain, and that means business cases before the government has got to a point of closing out negotiations. We're not afraid of a dialogue with the community, Neil.
So what if it doesn't stack up?
If it doesn't stack up, we won't proceed with it.
So the road is not a fait accompli?
I want to make this very clear, Neil. We've received a proposal from Transurban. On its face, we think this proposal has merit to investigate. We're going through a very rigorous process of investigation. The next stage will be when we say, OK, we're going to enter into negotiations. We think when we get to that point, that is when the state says there's value in this and we are prepared to advocate for this proposal. We'll put into the public domain as much information as we possibly can.
So is there an in-principle agreement or not?
There isn't, no.
There's no agreement whatsoever?
The agreement is to pursue this proposal under the market-led proposal guidelines. It's gone through the first two stages. When we get to the third stage, which is effectively once we've satisfied ourselves of the investment case, then we will put as much information into the public domain before we enter into formal negotiations. Before we conclude formal negotiations, so the community can see what it is that we're proposing we should be signing up to.
So when will the formal negotiations begin?
Look, I am told that it will take some time for us to satisfy ourselves about the necessary benefits of this proposal. Can I be very clear about this?
Don't you do that through negotiation?
No. Currently what we're doing is we're assessing the value of the proposal. It's not our proposal, it's Transurban's. We want to satisfy ourselves that it actually has a network performance, that it deals with congestion movements in the western suburbs, that it doesn't have an adverse impact upon the port. All of these things we're currently trying to sound out with Transurban. But once we get to the point...
That's not negotiations?
No, because once we actually get to the point that we're satisfied that this proposal actually stacks up in terms of benefit to the community, then we will put the business case out and we will be involved in a genuine negotiation. Now, that will take us till the end of the year before we're at that point.
I understood there was no taxpayers' money going into it.
Oh, well, what we've said is that what the proposal that we've received from Transurban is that $1.5 billion of federal money should be redirected from east-west into this proposal, and that that Transurban are proposing that an extension of the concession deed, I think of up to 13 years, should occur on the tolls that are currently being paid for Transurban. So a very substantial amount of public money and involvement is proposed here, and we want to satisfy ourselves.
But public money meaning our money. You're not going to put any Victorian taxpayers' money in. It's all federal money, correct?
Oh, well, first of all, Neil, the fact that we forego toll revenue, that would otherwise flow to the state at the conclusion of a concession deed arrangement, that's public money.
On the figures we did this week, that could be about $10 billion, at least.
The figures that you've done
Transurban, since it opened 15 years ago, only on CityLink has made $5.2 billion in tolls. Now, that means that they're at the highest level. Now, they keep going up. You could be upwards of $10 billion by extending it. Do you know yet how much it is?
I've seen numbers, the age report today, that the revenue that Transurban assesses something in the vicinity of $2 billion upwards.
Has to be. If they've made 5.2 in 15 years, you look over a 13 to 15 year extension, it's well ahead of 5.2 billion, isn't it?
And can I say that...
Isn't it?
Can I say that that's part of this process, Neil?
So we don't yet know how much extra it's going to bring in for Transurban?
Well, because we haven't yet agreed that we're going to proceed with this project. We haven't started negotiations. We're still, can I say, tyre kicking around the proposal to satisfy ourselves that we should even bother getting involved in negotiations. When we get involved in negotiations and before we close out any commercial deal, if and when we do, we will put business cases and all other relevant material in the public domain. We promised Victorians we'd be different. We promised we'd be accountable, and we will be.